slow burners, but they take those losses really on the chin and take responsibility for it and come together actually stronger. I mean, that as well is what my next point was going to lead on to, is the fact that they've got a tremendous community backing them, behind them, cheering them on. 92% of those watching over at event.brawlstars.com feel like they're going to get the win today. Only 8% for Dogster Lobster. But I'll be honest, having watched what I've seen over the past couple of months, I do feel like Dogster Lobster have got a lot more of a percentage, at least in my heart, going into this one. Shooting Star up first, and the ban's already in. I do love to see that Meg ban. We'll talk a little bit more on that later, but Eve is the first draft there coming in. And also got to mention that Eve has had a new additional gear come into the mix, and it is a mythic one at that. So, being able to then spawn in more pets, with the quadruplets gear is going to make a big factor. Nani and Jean to add to the mix for Dogster Lobster, and that's always a good pairing.
Yeah, I like the Eve here a decent amount. Gives you so much extra breathing room on your lane, just more space to navigate. And I agree, I think the new mythical gear is going to be very valuable as well, and just add a little bit more pressure. Jean, I think, is a decent way of dealing with it. Just spread across those shots and make sure all the hatchlings are low enough that they don't quite manage to make it all the way to their target. And Nani, I mean, we've seen it time and time again on Shooting Star, one of the staples of this map. I definitely do like them bring that brawler in. We'll have the Sprout as next pick here for Navi. I mean, there's not tons of options when it comes to throwers, and Tick would probably be the best one, but as it is banned out, I think Sprout is second best, and it's good enough here for Navi.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Would like maybe to have seen a Grom myself, but nonetheless, I think that the bans are very important here as well. RT as well had a recent slight tweak, slight nerf, but only to his super, really. B is always going to pack a heavy sting here. But obviously I would like to have seen that Max combined with that Jean, but it's banned out. And there is the Grom that I do kind of prefer here. So I am favoring myself a little bit more towards the Dogster Lobster comp. I think Nani here as well is going to be able to get a lot of value, extending that range massively so, and assert some pressure and some authority. I think for Cyclone or whoever is on that Jean on the side of Dogster Lobster, they're going to be quite cautious in the respect that obviously the B can drop the honey molasses and you just pull back that instead of the B. And ideally, if B's got amplified shot, you don't want to be pulling that one anyway. The Eve spawnables as well, definitely going to be causing a problem. So I think the biggest attribute there on the side of Navi is the comp going up against that Jean. So it's just about how they're able to really utilize their strategy going into this one and capitalize down, because I think in that respect they have a chance here.
Yeah, I think on the side of Dogster Lobster, it's going to be about trying to just run through all of the utility that Navi has, right? Whether it's for the Jean pools or for the Nani peeps, they're going to have to burn gadgets, or maybe Sprout Wolves as well to tank the peeps, and that's going to be a limited amount that you have available for yourself. Blue Star on the side of Navi, we did have some changes to Bounty as well, so first to 20 will win, but usually on Shooting Star we don't quite get to 20 stars.
I'm going to be paying very close attention to that scoreboard, though. Wouldn't it be great to see in the first monthly finals, since that change in EMEA, that change come into full force and have a really epic conclusion? But so far, can't really say much to the epicness of this one, as there is just that Blue Star, and there is the honey molasses tanking there for the peep. But I think for Dogster Lobster, they've got to keep that rolling in, exacerbate those gadgets along the way, and ensure that when Kanan can get that pull to hand, that he can really land it at just the right moment, because there's so much against him in this moment in time. EMEA, though, healed up. He was very low, about 165 HP earlier on there, so cutting it a bit fine. But so far, I would say that in terms of positioning power, Dogster Lobster are doing pretty well at holding themselves well in the mid. Missed pull from Kanan, though, and that could prove costly. That's the first one he's had, and there's only 45 seconds left.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time, enough potentially. Cyclone low HP, but nicely done by his teammates, creating some space, making sure he can heal up. Now a Grom Bomb is available as well, but EMEA does always have his gadget to jump away if need be. Heading into the final 25 seconds, Dogster Lobster still a singular star behind. The hatchling's not really going to be finding a whole lot of value as the Watchtower from Tomzy tanks it up. And now a final push from Dogster Lobster to try to get a kill and steal away this game. EMEA is low HP, falls. That might just be enough as Navi push up, try to get a trade. The pull connects onto Angel Boy, but he's the one that ends up going down, and 3 stars make it only 1 now as EMEA gets a final kill, but it is Dogster.
Being able to make those moments count, and Navi were very cautious for the majority of that game. They didn't really give them much of a look, and it was those final moments that really did come in clutch, and that all-important pull that Caitlyn hit at the end as well really did make a big difference there.
Absolutely. Blue Star, again, going to be picked up by NAVI, giving them the early advantage and the advantage of defense as well. Let's see if Dogster Lobster can bring it back as they did in game 1. They do have a pretty decent mid-game so far, pushing them way back in spawn and getting quite a lot of tags. A peep is going to be available for Cyclone. He's not going to be popping it just yet. He's very low HP and he needs to be careful of any aggression coming in from Cube on the right side. It does have that supercharged shot, connects it onto Kanan. It's not going to result in any kills, but nevertheless some value here and there. A minute left on the clock and NAVI are going to have to fend off all those attacks from Dogster.
Yeah, Cube's doing great work there, has got the amplified shot to hand, but, you know, Cyclone will also have returned to sender. That is a concern. EMEA again going down to 180 HP, and that is definitely not placing NAVI into a good spot. Cube now low as well on the right-hand side, surviving on as a result of that honeycomb shield, but then on the left-hand side, Talks gets a very important pickup. The takedown of Angel Boy brings them 2 stars, 1 star ahead now. That could be crucial here as we go into the final 30 seconds.
Cyclone still sitting on his peep. Kanan has a gene pool as well. Final push starting to come in here for NAVI. And oh, that is a poor gadget from Q. And he gets punished for it a little bit too late on the trigger. He goes down. Oh, it's 3 stars in favor of Dogster Lobster. Blue star on their side as well. Another pickup from Cyclone on the right-hand side. And surely Dogster Lobster should be able to defend here as EMEA is going to get pulled as well. And taken out eventually by Tomsy. Dogster Lobster with a much more dominant second game, securing now set number 1.
Tough start for NAVI. Dogster played it perfectly, didn't they? Let's be honest, the mix will maybe have a chance to discuss a bit more about as to why, because obviously Meg's had that rework recently now where she will spawn in mecha form. We saw it already today in the APAC region, just how dominant Meg really was faring, so I'm glad to see it being banned as well. If you're on the side of Dogster Lobster, they choose to keep it open and NAVI really capitalized down on that. We know that NAVI are a team that really like to combine healers into the mix, and that is where Meg is really proving to be a big problem. Let's see though, as the bans coming in now. No one's banned Meg. It's going to be a first pick here for me. Poker is available as well. The bans on the side of NAVI were Stu, B, and Max, and aggressiveness is the way to counter Meg, having spoken to a lot of the pro players in the scene. Many of them finding that Meg's a bit overwhelming to deal with. Some of them are saying the way to handle it was sheer aggression. Nita coming in for Dogster Lobster is the first pick, and there is now an epic gear for Nita as well, being able to provide more damage on the side of Bruce. So that's a consideration here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know 100% if it's necessarily a must-pick gear when it comes to Brawl, to be completely honest. But it may very much come in play. And I was thinking as well, this sort of brawlers that NAVI really like as well. We see them running the Nita so often. So straight up snatching away from them. And I was kind of expecting them to take it. As you mentioned, Meg, a very strong pick, very early pick you want to bring in as well. And NAVI are going to be taking advantage of the fact that Dogster didn't quite go for it, to take it for themselves and take the spike with it to just remove one of those heavy damage dealers that can deal quite well with Meg and, you know, with enough range as well to do so without endangering himself too much. And I feel like their bans kind of lined up with the fact that they wanted Meg, as they took out Stu and B, which deal quite decently with Meg as well.
It's kind of funny because literally, as I was saying, going into this draft, the one thing that might be able to help NAVI here is exactly the draft that's playing out. If they don't go for, I mean, Crow's good, no doubt about it. Definitely going to be keeping that tick damage over time onto the Meg. But is a Carl as well. I'm faring with NAVI here. They got Poco wide open here. I mean, it's really difficult to deal with a Meg and a Poco combined in that force, considering how Meg is just throttled her way into the forefront now of the meta. Dogster Lobster, if they are able to contend with this comp, and they haven't even picked the third brawler on the side of NAVI yet, it will be a huge testament to them to be able to gain the set off the back of this draft so far. But I am very much sided here with NAVI. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. But, okay, doubling down on aggression, I don't necessarily mind it. I think the Poker would have been possibly a little bit better in terms of keeping Meg's survivability there. But you know, we've got to consider the fact that Meg has also, though, had a little bit of a nerf to her damage, and that is a consideration there. But nonetheless, we've seen it running riot. I don't think you can really go wrong with it. But maybe Dogster Lobster have got something up their sleeve here. I mean, every team that we're going to see today in the EMEA region has come well prepared. Despite there being a recent update, despite the balance balance changes really causing a ruckus in the meta. You know, they have got a strategy, no doubt about it, and I'm looking to see how it fares for them.
Yeah, the buzz to me is going to be a direct reaction to the Carl, right? Trying to make sure that if he gets into a super, he's not going to be staying in one for long. Angel Boy does get the kill, but a quick trade from Cyclone. I have to be careful on the trades on the side of Dogster Lobster, because if the Meg is up, has enough HP and damage to cause a lot of trouble in even 2v2. Let's see. Dogster Lobster now have a bit more control. Some nice connections again from Cyclone, but he's low HP himself. Kanan did get fed nearly an entire bear from an early aggression from Angel Boy, but he doesn't have it quite yet. And a play from Angel Boy, and that one goes straight into the net. NAVI was a wonderful start there due to an individual play from Angel Boy.
Fantastic stuff, really was. Got to remember though that Meg will have passive healing now in the turret form, into the mech form, sorry. Pass over to Angel Boy. Potential here for a gadget if he wants to try to get behind this movement here from Dogster Lobster, but playing it slow, just taking care of business in the backside there. Kanan's in a great spot here. Thomas as well with the flying hook could go in here. Not going to happen. Pass to the left, and now the ball safely away, and a bit of a miss there for me from Dogster. They were in a good spot, a commanding position, but now low HP is going to force them back just a little bit, and Cube able to work around that wall so stupendously there.
Kanan does a bear now. That's going to help, but a nice stun from Angel Boy finds the kill, and there's no trade inside just yet. Cyclone will eventually find a connection. Cube is still up on the right-hand side, and even though he doesn't deal a lot of damage when he's not in his mech, he can still reset heals just the same. Cyclone has jumped. Tomzy has super as well. There's also two supers for NAVI to try to fend off this attack. Cyclone is low, doesn't quite get his jump off. Angel Boy is going to be able to chain supers there as well. Claim a nice two-piece, and with low time, there might be a chance for NAVI to just play it safe, play defensive, and lock in this game.
Well, Cube's got super now as well, but worth to mention as well that did also receive a nerf. The field of steel swipe is definitely not as strong as it used to be, but now with the positioning power they've got, 10 seconds remain, and Dogster Lobster are the ones that have got to make a play here. NAVI have got all the time in the world. They can put the ball into the corner if they want. Cyclone's got no super to jump on it, and it goes there. Not enough time. NAVI start to put something on the board, and that is a huge relief for them, no doubt about it.
Angel Boy, he spots an opening, seizes it, and absolutely delivers here for NAVI at a moment where they desperately needed it as well. Let's see if they can provide this sort of effort again here in game 2 of Brawl, or if Dogster Lobster are going to be more cautious.
Angel Boy again cycling pass through from Cube, but Angel Boy's too weak to be able to contest it. Tomzy full HP, misses the shot though. That could prove costly, but the defense just off the line. Crucial for Dogster Lobster, but can NAVI still make something of this? Not going to happen. Tomzy on the right hand side takes down Cube, and that's going to allow a little bit more of a breathing space to push the ball forwards.
Angel Boy cornering up the ball, knows that early on they do need to be careful about how they approach things, especially if he doesn't have super to work with. Nice tanks from Cube onto Kanan, just keeping him low HP, trying to prevent him from healing up, and he does so successfully as well. And just straight up going to be feeding that bust super on the right hand side. Tomzy wants to go aggressive. It does pay off as he gets a kill, but it's quickly traded up by Cube. 1-on-1 now, but I'm not sure if Cyclone can really go for a play here. I think slow down NAVI in defense, but we saw how strong their defense was in the previous game.
Yeah, it's a chance to reset things out a little bit here. Cube very low here. Cyclone knows it, wants to keep the poison tapping in, but can't quite connect the shots. Kanan as well has got Bruce, but now the stun coming through from Angel Boy, who's absolutely been on a tear all time. Cycling in again, the jump just in time there from Cyclone, but that could have been a crucial opening there for NAVI to be able to capitalize on. Wasn't to be. Now Dogster Lobster have got a real opportunity. No goals on the scoreboard here, so if Dogster Lobster can secure something in this position, great slowing toxin there from Cyclone, really causing a stir here, but somehow NAVI are keeping the ball in their possession and able to work around the situation, and it just seems like no matter what Dogster Lobster throw at this, they can't bail it to a goal.
Overtime might be a problem for NAVI though, and Dogster Lobster are aware of this. Playing it slow might be a wise idea. Just wait up for most of the walls to open up as overtime comes in. could be the difference maker. Angel Boy gonna take control of the ball. It's not really like he can shoot at anyone now anyways. Might consider cornering it up until he gets a super, or just pushing forwards instead. Gets his super now, there might be a chance to make a play. Can he get it? He goes for the shot, doesn't really line it up nicely there. Cube is low HP, big super from Tomsy, but he goes down. Cube out of the mech now as well. It's a 2-on-2. It seems like Navi, they're getting some ground.
Got hands to Cyclone there, did a tremendous job on defense, but surely now Navi are all over this. Oh, he gets the ball! He jumps in, able to secure it. A second solid defense from Cyclone, but he's got no help, and that is the concern. A super shot here, not going to take any chances, goes to Cube. It's looking great for Navi so far. I really do admire the way that they've gone into this and just chosen a really out there kind of idea, but it is working more often than it's not. But we have seen a few cracks there shown in Dogster Lobster capitalized. So let's see whether they can do just that again and get themselves a better start this time round and ease the pressure up a little bit. Angel Boy doing just that, pressurizing Cyclone, getting him down to 1,300 HP. Kanan as well, out of position here, has to jump away there. Just the nick of time, gotta go. But they're not out of the woods by any means at all. Again, another shielding the Cyclone, just keeping that right-hand side at bay, and that does alleviate a lot of the pressure. Great stuff from him, but again, I love to see how Navi are being so aggressive, but overly aggressively so there. Angel Boy goes down, Cube incredibly low, ticks down to Cyclone. Fantastic start for Dogster Lobster.
I love this approach from Dogster Lobster. They pretend like they're gonna fall for the exact same traps that Navi have set up. Instead, they bait 2 gadgets from Cubes. The gadget that practically won them the first set. Now he only has 1 to go, and Dogster Lobster is already up by 1 round. The Hatchling's not gonna find a whole lot of value. Tomsy though caught off guard, but MMA doesn't dare to commit. And Tomsy nearly doesn't, but he will get away for the time being.
Flying Toxin there, not going to get much value there, just on Angel Boy, and Cyclone will need to do a little bit better. A little smile there from Cube as he probably is hinting towards that very idea. Speed though coming in there again from Angel Boy as well, as the smoke trails coming in on the top there from MMA. It's 1 takedown, 2 takedown, only 1 more to go. Navi respond with aggression in a beautiful turnaround.
Yeah, Navi as well don't really need to go on the hunt. They have 2 players with their brawler picks that, you know, will be able to reload their super without committing to any fights. They just passively get their supers back. So they'll have 2 supers to use getting into this one. And Dogster Lobster, they do have 1. Let's see if they can put it to good use, as Navi is ready for some more aggression. Don't have any buster pulls though, and again, we did see how valuable that gadget was.
This is such an important round. Now they claim it, there'll be a set ahead, and that is huge against the team which are really doing fantastic work at the moment. MMA trickling down 12 HP and does pop. The jumping from Tomsy, aggressively done, but Cube able to hang on just a little bit longer. 3 versus 2, and that does give a huge advantage here for Dogster Lobster, as long as they don't get overly aggressive here. Just got to heal up, keep the control. Angel Boy, 240 HP. Surely just waiting for the gas here. Cube not done. Gets some value for it. Gets the takedown as well. Oh my word, it's a 2v2 now, and Navi have got a chance.
Tomsy in trouble as well. He might go down to Cube. Cube loves that close range fight. Cyclone gets him low HPs at a 1v2. They're both low.
Wow!
It's gonna be Angel Boy.
Fury, but this could be the chance to land themselves in the semi-finals here. Parallel plays the Hot Zone coming in, and you know, again, I'm just going to go out there and say Meg, just simply because at the moment it's viable everywhere. But the only place we've not really seen her picked or banned so far has been our last map there of Coldham Gulch. So let's see. Ultimately, I think that it could work quite well on the right-hand side, to be honest, especially now with the passive healing over time. Meg is really difficult to shake off the map, and that's kind of crucial here. But nonetheless, you know, we've seen a big drop-off of brawlers like Gale, who were fantastic on this particular map back in the previous meta, and it is going to be that. I rate it. I absolutely rate it. Bans of B, Stu, and Jesse on the side of Navi. I do like the Jesse ban as well, by the way. It's actually quite a viable option here. Sorry, on the side of Dogster Lobster. On the other side of things, for Navi, there's a ban of Carl, as well as the Penny and the B as well. Ash is a big pickup, and the Lou from Dogster Lobster. Very nice ideas from them. Spike adding to the mix for Navi.
I would kind of like to see maybe an Amber being picked up here. I don't know. It looked so strong in paper. I haven't quite seen it played out in competitive yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't be very strong. And this seems like a pretty good map for it as well. Tons of grasses and narrow hallways here and there as well that you can really utilize that slowing. So
maybe the gear, yeah.
Yeah, I really like the idea of it. We'll see if either teams want to commit to that, and we'll see it on the side of Navi. And dude, having the Amber and the Mag, I mean, sure, you're still facing an Ashe, which is incredibly brawly to face, but you do have quite a bit of utility in your tool belt to make it work. So I could see this being really, really scary for Dogster Lobster.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, stick out the left-hand side lane. If the Ashe goes there, then you're able to get your super so incredibly quickly, burn down the bush, see everything coming. And now again with that new gear, that mythic gear coming into the mix of sticky oil, then you're going to have that additional slow to add to everything as well. And that is so troublesome, especially maps with little choke sides as well. It's going to run a riot. Janet is going to come in for Dogster Lobster. But I still feel like Navi have got a killer comp here. If they can make this work, this could be a done and dusted. I feel like Dogster Lobster now have really got to rise to the table and show this comp for all it's worth. Can they do it? Absolutely so. Have they got the skills to it? 100%. But this is a ballsy move from Navi, and I love it.
I like it too. I mean, we went from 2 off-meta picks to probably the 2 most meta picks when it comes to the most recent balance changes. Let's see how this goes down. Already Angel Boy aggressing the left side. Tomzy aggressive on the right as well. Is going to get into the zone, but takes so much damage. Is forced to pop a gadget, and the swipe from Cube will settle that fight. At the end of the day, though, a couple more percentages on the top right are going to be going the way of Dogster Lobster, but with Cube in the zone, Navi quickly equalizing down.
What a start for Navi. I mean, just going super on the aggressive. Some interesting lane ideas, not to what I was expecting, but nonetheless, it's working. And that's what matters. Tomzy now in a real difficulty here. Low HP and a 1v3. Everyone from Dogster Lobster in their spawn. And Navi have just got to secure this so they can just go back and do the rest later. I mean, this is phenomenal. Completely not what we expected. And what a time to show it. They're in full control of this situation. I mean, Dogster Lobster are just all over the place at this point.
Yeah, this is looking like the beginning of the end for Dogster Lobster, as Navi have double the percentage time pretty much than what Dogster were able to achieve, and it's looking like they'll just lock it in with EMEA in the zone to secure it. The team captain.
Kenta Cup, losing to SK Gaming, losing to Foot Esports, big contenders, especially Foot at the moment in the BSC, and they are making this look easy. I hate to say it, but they actually are, and the draft is where it's really coming into full force. And that's probably, for me, a weaker of the areas for Navi, but they've got to maintain it. That's the thing, and so far, so good on this right-hand side, keeping Tomzy at bay as Angel Boy on the left-hand side going in on Xiaku, placing down the oil there, and Sticky there as well. Sticky oil is showing its form, so the gear is in motion as well. Cyclone's stuck in between a rock and a hard place there in the mid and can't really move away or get away from the situation. But I feel at the moment that the momentum is very much with Navi, just taking their time here, and that's never a bad thing.
Certainly not. Tomzy, low HP, slowly but surely resetting. It's looking much better than the previous game so far. Shaku building up a lot of control as well. EMEA finds Tomzy on the right lane, and that means that now Navi, they're able to start creating some more space, some more pressure onto Dogster Lobster. Shaku has flight as well, but he can't really commit. Is gonna try it, and there's no help onto Angel Boys, but he's dodging so wonderfully well. He might even end up winning that fight. He will do exactly that. And now there's a big weakness on the left-hand side. Angel Boy looking to abuse it. The flames will be connecting as well, but no need. Cube finds a kill onto Cyclone, and Cube has found his way into the zone. It's gonna go down, but 3% now in favor of Navi, and seeing how defensive their comp is, it's a scary prospect here for Dogster Lobster.
It really is. Angel Boy, though, stunned out. It's only 3% in it, remember? So if Dogster Lobster can just try to secure a takedown here on Cube and keep EMEA low, drop the base there from Zek for that very reason, takes to the skies and gets some damage onto Cube as well. But Tomzy couldn't quite close the gap, does so in the the end. But if Zeka can get that takedown, he'll be able to land himself on his own, and they have done just that. In the meanwhile, Angel Boy is doing the same on the other side of the field. It's neck and neck at the moment between these two teams, but it is still match point for NAVI.
Couple percentage lead still for NAVI. Dogster, as their backs against the wall, need to aggress, but also make sure that their left side holds up and that their defense is strong enough to keep NAVI away. Tomzy in big time trouble. Xiaoku trying to confirm the kill, will do just that on the left hand side. With 25 seconds left, they have yet to get back into that top right zone, and they need to do so if they don't want to be eliminated from the April monthly finals.
Zach is doing great work, but it's got to get super really quick to get on that zone. But in the meanwhile, Tomzy is doing as well. He's got no gadgets, no pop the pill there available to him. Great stuff from Cyclone. 66-67, Dogster Lobster take the lead and survive on a little bit longer, but only just, and they know it. There is a chance.
Phenomenal comeback here in the nick of time as well for Dogster and Lobster, but they're far from being out of trouble just yet. Still a match point to fend off, and still a really strong NAVI comp, but we did see, you know, the ideas behind Dogster Lobster's comp, and I think Xiaoku played a phenomenal game for game 2 here, just getting so much value on the left-hand side. Cyclone popping off now as well, pushing up in the zone and starting early on to get some percentages locked in for Dogster Lobster in enemy territory. A trade perhaps there between EMEA and Cyclone should be. Tomzy is able to get it. Cube doesn't quite go for the swipe, and instead he's gonna go down, so loses it all together. Tomzy will fall, but it is gonna be a bit of an early lead for Dogster Lobster, not in total percentages, but in percentage locked in on the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, and that's really crucial to remember there, because I mean that's 70% effectively once they were able to capture their own, and a huge momentum boost for them to get that early start. And like you mentioned, Zeka doing great work, because getting Angel Boy out of that left-hand side lane is so crucial from preventing NAVI from doing exactly what they've done in the previous outset of this game. So Cube going down now as well, not able to stay in mecha form. Seems to be a bit of a common occurrence this time round, as the aggressiveness of Dogster Lobster really shining. Tomzy clearing up the right-hand side and is massive, huge stuff for Dogster Lobster. Once they secure that, they can just focus on their own zone, and that's in their spawn.
Yeah, that is quite important, but at the same time, there's a full HP mech into Dogster Lobster's zone now. Cube just holding on to that position for the time being, and considering they already locked in their zone, they might not even need to go back in defense. If they can just hold on to this aggressive position, they could lock it in right here, right now. Cube low HP, 91% now for NAVI. Cube will go out of his mech, but is that gonna be enough now? 6% left of Flames as well to create some space. They're trying to make it happen, but maybe rushing it as well as they end up going down. Everyone falls on the side of NAVI, and Xiaoku is trying desperately to get back into that aggressive position he locked in earlier. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. NAVI are so close to the finish line. Cyclone is burning up as well. Angel Boy should be able to survive, but no, he doesn't. He goes down. Is there enough time here? They're in the zone, a couple percentages behind. I think they may have miscalculated, because right now Cube is going to lock it in for NAVI. It's 1% that will knock Dogster Lobster out of this bracket, and NAVI go to the semifinals.
Only 1%! I mean, by the narrowest of narrow margins, wasn't it really? But it was a little bit of a miscalculation. I thought Dogster Lobster had it. Oh, it was going to be a draw, one of those two things. But oh my word, did NAVI do well there, locking their feet firmly into the semi-finals. And I couldn't